Welcome back to my channel, everyone. 3 tips here, and what I've got is some scrap pieces of gold here. This was stuff that was for sale on my eBay store and nobody was interested, so we're going to refine this into high purity gold. And before we get started, I want to go around the room here and look at some stuff I've got for sale. This is a IWC Schaffhausen 18 karat gold watch. It's going to be sold as is. It's going to need professional cleaning and repair. Stem is bent on the side. I've made a video about this watch. It's listed on my channel, and I'll put a link to that video in this video. A little bit about the process I'm using here. This is some pieces of scrap jewelry. They're scrap now. They were nice pieces, but I took the stones out and I saved those stones for use in other people's jewelry that might need repair. I saved the diamonds and used those for repairs, and also I save the little bits and pieces of the bails and the earring retainer backs and so forth, and I clean them off in this little container here in my ultrasonic, and then I save those as kind of like a offline savings account. This is a gold filled pocket watch that my wife got at an estate sale, and we're going to be offering this for sale. It runs, and it comes with a gold filled chain. Also, back here I've got some gold filled scrap that I sorted out of some junk jewelry that she got for me. Here's some more gold filled stuff. I've got enough to do another batch here. I've accumulated a bag of gold filled scrap to do another batch of that. Over here I've got silver that I've sorted out, clean silver used for encording my gold. Here's some dirty silver. It's got stones and junk in there. I just don't feel like taking it all apart, so I'll save this and just add it to my silver jar and dissolve it with the excess nitric. And back here I've got a bag of silver stuff that's all been tested with acid. It's got some nice stones in it. There's some nice pieces in there, and we'll offer this for sale on my eBay store. Here is gold over silver pieces. I test that with Schwerter solution, make sure it's silver under there, and then save it, and then we'll try to do a gold recovery video on this later on. Here's some high purity gold powder from a previous refining. There's about 2 troy ounces in there. I've got some of this for sale on my eBay store, and I'll put a link to that material in the description of this video. Plus, I've got some high purity silver here that we're offering for sale on my eBay store as well. You'll be able to find a link to that in the description of this video. Before we get started on the refining, I'd like to take a look at a couple of pieces of material here that we sorted through. This is an earring, and if you notice, I'm going to rub the post on this touchstone, and then I'm going to rub the ball part right next to it, and we're going to put some acid on this. And let me get down close, see if you can see this reaction. See the 2 streaks. The one on top there is the post, this one here, and this is the actual earring. I'm going to put a drop of 14K gold test acid on it and watch what happens. If you notice, the actual ball part of the earring is not gold, as indicated by this acid test, but the post that goes in your ear is 14K gold. I've got another earring here that's got a gold post on it, But if you look, we're going to rub some of it on the stone. It makes a nice streak. The acid won't eat it away. It still stays there. See that? But if you notice, the streak on this side is a yellow color. The streak on this side is a white color. So what we have here is some sort of stainless steel, or maybe even aluminum, that does not dissolve with the gold testing acid. So you got to watch out for that. If you ever see a white streak of metal underneath your acid, it's not gold. That's how you tell the difference with these tests. Here's another piece that I found. It looks legitimate. It's got some markings in there. Nowhere does it say karat gold though. But if I rub some of this metal onto this touchstone and then pull some acid down on it, you'll notice that the streak does not disappear with the acid. It stays there. But like this streak, it's a silver color. So that tells us that this ring is not gold, but some sort of steel metal underneath a gold plating. All right, last but not least, I've had this for a while. It was a piece of metal in a plastic case, and it says 999.9, and I paid $100 for this piece of metal. And if you look, it's some kind of white metal inside. I thought that it was solid 4/9 fine gold, but it's fake. And this piece is from several years ago, and if I ever encounter any pieces of gold in plastic containers, I tell the seller that if they want to sell it to me, I've got to open the plastic container and test it. And if they say no, then I just pass. I don't even buy it. Because if I can't get in there and test the piece of metal, then I've got a 50-50 chance that it might be fake, like this piece was. The person that sold me this got $100, and I got a piece of junk metal, gold-plated. All right, the moral of this story is, out of all 4 of these pieces, none of it's real, except the post on this earring. So what I'll do is I give it a little twist and kind of bend it so it doesn't roll away on me, and then clip it off. This is trash, and this piece right here goes in the 14K gold bin up here, and we'll use it in our refining. Okay, someone had asked how long it takes to do a small refining like this. You can see it's 11:30 a.m. So we're going to record the time and time this refining. I'm going to put the 14K gold into the melt dish up here and get a weight on this metal. We got 41.6 grams of 14K. 14K. 41.6 grams. All right, the 10K. Here's our 10K material. Zero the scale out. Add that to the dish. We got 10 grams, or 10K, 16.2 grams. Here's what I've determined is the proper amount of silver to quart our 10K and 14K gold. Over here I've calculated the estimated yield from this refining. From this amount of karat gold, I should yield about 30.9 grams of pure gold. So I've added some sterling silver from my sorted material here to a container. I've got 62.9. That's close enough. We calculated we need 62.8. So now what we'll do is add this 62.8 0.9 grams of sterling to our gold. Take this out in the shop and melt it up into some granules. The time is about 12:35. We've been at this for about an hour and 5 minutes now. This first hot dilute nitric treatment is complete. What we'll do is pour this silver solution off into a container over here that's full of sterling silver flatware. This liquid I'm pouring off is going to have a whole bunch of silver in it, so we'll conserve it or save it in our silver jar here. And now what we'll do is add a little bit more of our used nitric acid, put it back up on the heat, and do a second nitric acid boil. Try to remove more silver and base metals. It's almost 1:45. We're done with nitric boil number 2. We're going to pour this off now into our silver jar. Save this liquid because it's going to have silver in it. And then we're going to use some more of our used nitric and do a third nitric acid boil. I'm going to add some extra nitric acid to this one See if we can help the process along just a little bit. That's about 50 milliliters of concentrated nitric. All right, so what I'm going to do with this silver jewelry is add it to a strainer basket here. And we're going to put it in our cleaner over here. And hit it with the ultrasonic cleaner. Next, I rinse all the soap off of it with some hot tap water. And I take the pieces and I come over here to the steamer. And I steam everything off to clean and sanitize each piece. We stick it in this little container right here and get the next one. Just do this with each piece until I've got it all steamed off, cleaned and sanitized. And then once we get done with it, we'll lay it out in the on a piece of paper towel and take a look at everything. Here's the material that we'll be selling, offering for sale on my eBay store. This has all been cleaned, sanitized, verified, tested. It's all silver. Those are CZs in that pendant right there. There's a nice cameo Gamecock emblem. I'm not sure what all of these stones really are. Not sure how to identify them. This one looks like turquoise and coral. This thing is kind of weird looking. Looks like a long fingernail, but it's a pin, all handmade, made out of silver. This is a lady silver pin here. It's a horse pin. This is gold over silver. And then we've got some rings back here. This one, I've tested these. These are diamonds in silver. And like I said, I don't know exactly what these stones are back here, but they are all tested and verified silver. And what we'll do is we'll get a weight on these things. Some shells set in silver. Not sure what those pink stones are. There's a nice thick, probably about 24-inch chain there. Here's a regular silver chain with no stones. But then you got these bracelets here that's got some nice stones. There's a San Marco bracelet made out of solid silver. I think these are amethyst. This is silver with gold overlay. This is a nice chunky piece made out of sterling. And this one's a nice one here. It's got rubies, emeralds, and blue sapphires. Those are authentic stones. They're not fake. Here's another necklace or bracelet. I don't know what the stone is on this. These, I think, are white sapphires set in silver that's got gold over it. Matching set of earrings up here. Here's lapis earrings, turquoise earrings, and these, I don't know what to call these. These are like tiles with ships carved into the material there. I don't know what the material is. These are lapis, and then these, I think, are, what are they, garnets? And then up here, last but not least, we got us a nice charm bracelet. Again, everything has been tested, verified silver, steam, and ultrasonic cleaned. Got a scale set up here. We're going to move all of our silver over onto this scale now. All right, the total weight for this lot is going to be 673 grams of sterling silver with some nice stones set into these pieces. What I'll do is I'll bag each piece individually, and they'll ship in individual bags. Our third nitric boil is complete. We can tell by the lack of fume production in our beaker. So we'll pour this liquid off into our silver jar. As you can see, there's a heavy reaction there because we've got some pretty stout nitric acid left in our solution. And now what we'll do, we're almost there. I'm going to add some distilled water. Put it back on the fire. I've got some nitric acid here. And we're going to call this our fourth nitric acid boil. Alright, that last boil, number 3, took about an hour. It's 25 minutes past 2 right now. It's a little past 3. So we've been at this for about 3.5 hours. This is nitric boil number 4. And what I've got to do is I've got to kind of regulate where I pour this liquid. I'm going to pour a little bit in the back here. There's a little bit of silver back here. But I don't want to add too much of the hot nitric to this jar because it's full of silver. It's going to react with a little bit more vigorous reaction. We're almost there. See how that liquid's nice and clear now, colorless? So I think we're ready to go for the refining. I'm going to add some distilled water to this. And we're going to put some nitric. What I want to end up with here is a colorless solution of nitric acid. And when it's colorless, that means that all the copper has been dissolved out of the gold. And if we can conclude that all the copper has been dissolved out of the gold, then we conclude that all the silver has been removed. Also, we're about 5 minutes past 4. Look down at the beaker down here. You'll see we've got some blue coloring in the acid, which means that we're still pulling copper. And if we're still pulling copper, then we're probably still pulling silver out of here. So what we'll do, let's get rid of this nitric. This is going to be pretty stout here, so I can't pour a whole lot of it into this jar here. Pour some of it back here. There's not a whole lot of silver in this second one back here, so I'm not scared of boiling it over. That was our 5th nitric acid boil. The gold is looking nice and brown color like we like to see. So what we'll do now is I'm going to add some more distilled water. And then we're going to put in some more nitric acid here. And we're going to do a 6th nitric acid boil. Alright, this last nitric boil is complete. Notice that the solution is colorless. What we're going to do is pour this off now into this container and use it for a future refining. Now what we'll do is rinse the gold off real well with some distilled water and pour those rinses in our silver jar. Now we're going to set it back up on the heat with some water in it and boil it with water just for a little while here. I want to show that the time is now 4:35. We're doing our water boil, and when this is done, we'll go to Aqua Regia. That gold has been boiling in water now for about, I'd say about a half hour. Let's see what the time is here. We're at 5:30 right now. So let's pour this water off here. Save it and add it to the silver jars. I've removed the silver from the fume hood because we're going to be using hydrochloric acid now. I'm going to add about 200 milliliters of hydrochloric acid. Put it up on the heat. Now we're going to add some sulfuric acid. Precipitate out any lead. Nitric acid. We give it about 3 5-milliliter shots of nitric. 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 15 milliliters. That's 5 3-milliliter shots of nitric. Cover it up and let it react. Time now is about 6:10, and that took about 35 minutes to dissolve completely. Pull it down off the heat and let it cool off. Got it all pulled through the filter, but as you can see, the solution here a little bit cloudy. So what we're going to do is pour it back through the same filter paper a second time. That cleared it up pretty good, but it's still a little bit cloudy. I'm gonna pour it back through one more time here. Oh yeah, that cleared it up very nicely. Now we're going to transfer the crystal clear gold solution into this clean beaker. Now we'll precipitate out the pure gold with some sodium metabisulfite. Here we go. Here's the first spoon. I forgot a step here. This is important. Get a little bit of the solution on a piece of filter paper and do a stannous test. Make sure we got gold in solution. That brown stain verifies gold in solution. Now we're going to add the second spoon of sodium metabisulfite right now. Alright, before I add another spoon, take a look at the time there. We're at about 6:35 right now. Let's add one more spoon of sodium metabisulfite to our gold solution. This is number 3 going in right now. I'm going to add one more spoon here. And we're going to give this a shake. I think we're pretty much done here. Got everything precipitated now. Let's verify we've got everything precipitated. Do another stannous test here. And you can see no reaction. It means all the gold has been precipitated now. Time now is 8 o'clock. Allowed this to settle for about an hour, I guess. Now I'm going to pour off the waste solution into this container. Here's a look at the pure gold powder. Looks pretty good, man. Looks real good. Quick rinse with hydrochloric acid. I will give it a rinse with some distilled water. Now we're going to add a little bit of hydrochloric acid to the gold, put it up on some heat, and let it boil for a few minutes. It's 8:30. Allowed this to boil for about 20 or 30 minutes. I'm going to take it up off the heat now and empty out the acid into our waste container. Here we go. Gold looks a lot different now. A lot brighter. Going to do a second refining. Add about 150 milliliters of hydrochloric. Now we're going to put some sulfuric acid in here, just as a precaution in case any lead made it this far into the process. Let's put this up on the heat now. Now we're going to add some nitric acid to form aqua regia and dissolve the gold a second time. Well, that's amazing. I've never seen gold dissolve that quickly. It's all in solution, man. It only took about 2 minutes to dissolve completely. Crystal clear, beautiful. All right, here we go. First spoon of sodium metabisulfite going in right now. Oh yeah, we got some foaming. And what that means is we've got some excess nitric acid in here. That's okay. See the fumes forming on the top there? And that means I added a little bit too much nitric when I went to dissolve the gold, which is quite all right. We'll just keep adding extra SMB until all of the excess nitric gets consumed. What's happening is, as I put the SMB in, gold precipitates out and then immediately redissolves because it has excess nitric in there. We just keep adding SMB until all that excess nitric gets consumed, and then the gold will stay precipitated. I think we're already there. Reach in here and make sure we've got everything precipitated with a stannous test. As you can see, zero reaction on that piece of filter paper with stannous. Means all the gold has been precipitated. We're a little past 9:30. We've got the gold to settle out completely. Now what we're going to do is we're going to pour this off into a waste container. I'm going to give this a quick rinse with some distilled water. Nothing fancy here. Now we'll get the gold into a melt dish. And we're going to take it over here on the melt table and melt it up into a nice bar. Here's our bar of pure gold. It's absolutely beautiful, as usual. Oh my goodness, every time I see a bar of freshly poured, high purity gold that I refined myself, I'm just kind of a little bit awestruck. Let's get it on the scale here. I was expecting 30.9. I got 30.5 grams of high purity gold. Alright, this will conclude the video. I'd like to thank everybody for watching. I'll be getting this silver material listed. Plus I'll put links in the description of the video to the other items that I'm going to be offering for sale on my eBay store. Alright, that'll conclude it, man. Thanks for watching.